A war has erupted. Not the first, but perhaps the most dangerous yet. The long borders between Afghanistan and Pakistan has ignited once again. 7 Afghan provinces have turned into open battlefields. Shells are falling, crossings are closed, and accusations are flying. Dozens are dead or injured. And a fragile calm satisfies no one. What happened? Why now? And where could this silent war between the two bitter neighbors lead? Saturday was a long day on the border. The sound of artillery filled the mountains. The sky rained shells instead of clouds. Afghan and Pakistani forces stood face to face along the Durand Line, a border Kabul has refused to recognize for over a century. Kabul claims that the clashes were in response to Pakistani airstrikes, last week targeting Kabul, Khost, and Nangarhar. Islamabad insists it was responding to cross-border fire from the Afghan side. The result? Dozens killed and wounded, and border towns reduced to ashes. By Sunday morning, Pakistan announced the closure of all border crossings with Afghanistan. The long boundary that once connected people has now become a wall of fear. This clash is not an isolated incident. It is another chapter in a long, violent history. Since the Taliban returned to power in 2021, relations have been on the brink of explosion. Pakistan, once the Taliban's main supporter, now finds itself in direct confrontation. Islamabad accuses Kabul of harboring fighters from Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, TTP, who have carried out deadly attacks inside Pakistani territory. Most recently, on Friday, when coordinated assaults killed 23 people in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Pakistan says these militants are training inside Afghanistan. Kabul denies the claim, saying, "We will not allow anyone to use our lands against our neighbors." But the gunfire tells another story. Saturday night saw a major escalation. Afghan government spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid announced that Afghan forces have seized 25 Pakistani outposts, killing 58 soldiers and wounding 30 others. He also admitted the loss of 9 Taliban fighters and 20 wounded on their side. In response, the Pakistani army released a strongly worded statement. "We carried out precision strikes and aerial operations on training and support camps inside Afghanistan." Pakistan claimed its operation killed over 200 Taliban fighters and allied militants, at the cost of 23 of its own soldiers and 29 wounded. Both sides claim victory, but only the battlefield knows the truth. The border between the two countries is more than a geographic line. It is a fault line of politics, religion, and economics. In Kabul, the Taliban seek to prove its strength to both the domestic and foreign audiences. In Islamabad, a fragile government struggle with political chaos and a restless population, while the armies try to project control. Behind the scenes, a third player looms: India. Pakistan accuses New Delhi of funding and arming militant groups attacking inside its borders. India denies the charges, but quietly strengthens its presence in Kabul, reopening embassies, increasing intelligence cooperation, and cultivating influence. For India, Afghanistan is a doorway to limit Pakistan's reach into Central Asia. What began as a local border clash is turning into a regional power contest between 3 rivals. As the blood dries, the phones start ringing. Qatar and Saudi Arabia step in. 2 simultaneous statements urge restraint and a ceasefire. By Saturday evening, the Afghan Ministry of Defense announced the end of military operations in response to requests from Doha and Riyadh. But calm doesn't mean peace. The major crossings, Torkham and Chaman, remain closed, along with 3 secondary crossings at Karachi, Agarada, and Ghulam Khan. Both fragile economies take another hit. Trade worth billions is halted. Ordinary people on both sides pay the price: no food, no medication, no work. To understand today's tension, one must look back. Since Pakistan's founding in 1947, relations with Afghanistan have been uneasy. No Afghan government has ever recognized the Durand Line as an official border. Both sides claim to represent the same Pashtun tribes that straddle the frontier. Now, with the Taliban back in power, this historical dispute has become a direct military confrontation, each side accusing the other of supporting terrorism as a tool of pressure. Islamabad says the Afghan Taliban has lost control of its borders. Kabul replies that Pakistan is trying to blackmail it through airstrikes. Trust between the two neighbors has long vanished. Every bullet fired along the border echoes far beyond it. Iran fears the tension will spill eastward. China, investing billions in its Belt and Road initiatives, worries Pakistan could descend into chaos. Threatening its economic interests, Russia watches quietly, weary of instability near Central Asia. India, meanwhile, smiles silently. Every Afghan-Pakistani crisis weakens its old rival. Thus, a local border war becomes a regional chessboard. Future scenarios are already forming. Scenario 1, a temporary calm. The most likely short-term outcome, a quiet, undeclared ceasefire under ongoing Qatari and Saudi mediation. Limited intelligence sharing, but the fire will remain beneath the ashes. Scenario 2, controlled escalation. Periodic skirmishes, sporadic shelling, border closures, and heated rhetoric, meant to score political points at home without a full-scale war. Scenario 3, total eruption. The worst-case scenario, failed mediation, mutual escalation, and foreign involvement. If that happens, the war will not stay between two nations. It will divide the region into camps, dragging South Asia into a new storm. And once again, civilians will pay the price. On the cold mountains, families flee into uncertainty. Their homes burn, their livestock scatter. Markets soar overnight, and fear returns to Pakistani cities. Two peoples linked by blood and geography, yet divided by politics and pain. Every border clash widens the rift. Today, both capitals face a choice: manage the conflict with reason, or let the guns decide. But history in this region has taught one bitter lesson: weapons speak louder than diplomacy. And unless the region's powers act fast, South Asia may soon stand on the edge of another war. One that will not stop at the Durand Line.